Hello, everybody. Welcome to Grim Report. Last case, guys. And there is an Arthurian legend called Lyonesse. It is the home country of Tristan, from the legendary story of Tristan and Isolde. I don't know the word name. The mythical island of Lyonesse is now referred as to lost island of Lyonesse, as it is ultimately said to have sunk into the sea. However, the legendary tale of Trist and Isolde shows that Lyonesse is known for more than sinking into the ocean. So the legendary presence, while it remains above ground, while Lyonesse is mostly referred to stories of legendary presence while it remained above. Most refer to stories of legend and myth. There is a legendary location that can be difficult to assert where the legend ends and reality begins. Of course, we all know this. There are variations of the legends that sound sinking in the land before sinking in Lyonesse has been quite large, containing 140 villagers, churches. It is said that it disappeared November 11th, 1099, although some tales say these use the year 1089. Were swallowed, and people and animals that were drowned. Once it covered the water, the land never emerged. While Arthurian tales, legendary say on behalf of Lyonesse was once a very real place attached to Sicily, islands of Cornwall, England. Evidence show that the sea levels were considerably lower in the past, and also areas that contained human settlements above ground, may be able to be seen. Indeed, fishermen in Sicilian islands, tales of reserved pieces of buildings such as fishing nets. Now, this place was pretty big. You guys should already know the myth of this if you're into Arthurian legend. It was a rather large city. Now, we did go off the coast of Sicily, or wherever it is, near England, near that area. Why are we searching for this city? Oh God, I could tell you so many reasons other than money. If we conclude the place existed, then, well, money. Oh, we went with a friend of, we were hired once again by some archaeological team in England. Yes, hired. Why? Yes, well, we have a knack of finding things that shouldn't be found. Yep, you heard me. Our knack for finding things that shouldn't be found. Yay, go us, right? Well, once we got there near those islands and started diving. Yeah, we had to get permits. And once we got the permits, we were like, yay. Not really, no. We just got the permits. And we went diving. And we went deep. The waters were kind of murky. And we could barely see anything underneath the waters. But we went deep. And we had a sub that was about a little bit deeper than us. As we went along bottom near that part of the area, we started seeing houses. Yes, houses. Village, like you would see in a village, but they were crumbled, distorted. You know, like they shouldn't be there. We started seeing around the outline. We were on the outline of the city. And as they started picking up sonar, using the sonars, they started picking up things that look like steeples, chapels. Dozens of them across the city. I even picked up something that looked similar to a castle. Now, as we skimmed skimmed it and searched for more and more stuff, houses started popping up everywhere, villages, buildings, and yeah, even these little steeples and such like that. The marvelous thing was that one of these churches was completely, the steeple was there. It was almost like it was completely complete. Like it wasn't touched by the fall or by anything. Now, this was supposed to be Merlin's time and magic. So me and Sarah and Jim and one of the archaeologists decided to go deeper see if we could get into this chapel. In which we did. Through a crack in the window. But once we got in there, we fell. We nearly fell to our deaths. There was no water in there. It was completely dry. Something was keeping this thing from not even the water from the glass that had been cracked was getting in. This thing was in like a force field of some sort. A magical force field. We were all amazed by the way this thing looked. What was keeping this? And then we saw it. A staff right at the altar. It had an engraving on it. I don't know what it was. I guess it was written in Latin or something. She walked over it and read it, and it was the last remaining artifact of Merlin. Or was it another wizard? I'm not sure. It had no name. It just said it was the last magic artifact. Something along those lines. It was something like that. I don't remember I didn't read it. She did. It was a magical staff, not a magical wand. A staff. It's what was keeping the chapel from being crushed. If this thing was removed, the chapel and everything in it would be crushed. As a couple of people, as the professor came in and the assistant told him about it, another group of other men came in from the historical society. And they were talking about how they were going to get this out. And I was like, there's no way to get this out without killing everybody in here. This thing leaves this temple. The temple goes crashing down. And they were talking about that, and they were talking. No. So guys, leave it here. Let's go. $10 minutes later, as we're arguing, I'm about to convince them to leave. Bam! 6 soldiers come in there with guns raised. One of them was a commander. Commander of the magician or magic society. Weirdly enough, they collect magical objects. They wanted the magical artifact for themselves. Now, why did they want? I explained to him once again. The professor, his colleagues explained, if this thing's removed, everyone in here dies. They laughed at us. They did not care. They attacked. They shot the professor. Jim jumped out. Jim jumped on one of them to wrestle the gun away from him. He got knocked down. I told Sarah, don't. She put her pistol away. And I said, this artifact comes with us, is what they said. I don't care. They didn't care what happened to the people in it. And I said, as soon as you remove that, it comes crashing down. In other words, everything, boom, dead. No time. He laughed and said, I'll make time. He pulled something out of his pocket. Twisted it, dropped it to the ground. It created a force field over us, wide enough to support the steeple. He laughed. He grabbed the staff and said, as he was walking out, he said, handle this. His men pulled out their about to shoot. I rushed one of them, knocked him to the ground, knocked him out. Another guy was about to shoot me. Sarah shot him. Jim got up and knocked the other guy out. That was 2 down, 3 down. The 4th and 5th guy, well, they were leaving with their commander. We had about good 10 seconds before that building collapsed. I know that because the force field started to fade. So I told the professor, let's go. We got aboard the little sub and we left. We got our gear on and left for the building collapsed. Not but 10 seconds later, the building collapsed. What the? 3 men that were in it. Good riddance. So what happened next was that we had to get the professor back at least so we get our money. So we got a hold of Jim's friend. He tracked them. He knew exactly where this society was supposed to meet. He was in weird crap, don't ask. We found him pretty quickly. So you would think this place would be based in London. It wasn't. It's based off on an island. An island off the coast of England in international waters. They were waiting to be picked up at the docks. We got there in time. This time we got to jump on them. Thanks to our friend. Gonna pull a rabbit out of the hat. Not literally. More like our half-Gorgon friend, Medusa. Or Deuce. We got the jump on them. Medusa turned one of them to stone. Jim shot the other. 2 down, 1 to go. He was holding the professor hostage. Wasn't gonna last long though. I said, if you want to keep the staff, if you want the staff, you let the professor go. He looked at the professor and looked at the staff. Tossed the staff to him. Bam! Medusa just turned his hand to stone. And half his body. She's getting pretty good at controlling it. I asked him, why did they want the staff? He said it's none of my business, and it was his business, their business. So I started playing Cut the Stone. I cut his arm off, right where the flesh meet the stone. The screams were intolerable. And I said, your leg's next. He looked at me, looked at my kukri as I cleaned his blood off it. Put it this way, they didn't get their staff. They got him though. What was left of his condition? They were going to fight with magic. I was going to fight with myth. Because I know where a couple of creatures are that magic don't work on. But with that said, boys and girls, we got paid. Till the next one. Good luck. Good night. God bless.